Good evening, everybody, and welcome. My name is Cynthia, and I help direct the events here at Strand. For a little bit of history, Strand was founded in 1927 by the Bass family over on 4th Avenue's Book Row. Stretching from Union Square to Astor Place, Book Row gradually dwindled until, after over 92 years, Strand is the sole survivor, still run by the Bass family and still housing new and used books. Tonight, I'm excited to welcome Allison Raskin and Gaby Dunn to discuss their new book, Please Send Help. Abby and Allison, friendship name, invented now. Allison and Gaby are two best friends and New York Times bestselling authors who live in Los Angeles. They started the comedy YouTube channel Just Between Us, which has amassed a nearly 150 plus million views and has created individual podcasts, both of which have landed on the iTunes International Top Charts. Gaby's journalism has appeared in pretty much every major publication, and Allison has written some really funny group texts with her family. Gaby and Allison have developed television projects with MTV, YouTube Red, and FX. They both love their dogs very much. Please join me in welcoming Allison and Gaby to Strand.
Oh my God. Guys. Hi, my sister came. I can't believe it. There's so many of you.
This is so overwhelming.
Thank you so much. This has been great. SF was sold out. This is sold out. Harvard Coop is sold out.
Yeah, we don't need to tell them.
I'm just saying, like, I'm proud of all of you.
Well, guys, we really wanted to be here, and let me tell you how much.
Oh, for those of you who haven't been following the saga of what has officially become the Please Send Help tour.
Yesterday, we arrived at the San Francisco airport, and somehow within 5 minutes, I lost my phone.
So, Allison,
And we're thinking this is a bad day. It hadn't started yet.
No.
And then we're on the flight, and then we're circling New York after like 7 hours, and they're like, you know what, guys? We're heading to Syracuse.
So they reroute us to Syracuse.
And you guys know, no one wants to go to Syracuse.
Yeah, so they reroute us to Syracuse. We land.
And then there's some mild rioting. And then they, after like an hour of sitting on the tarmac, they're like, okay, you could go out into the terminal where everything's closed and it's abandoned.
No food, nothing was there. And then also there was no TSA because the TSA had gone home.
Yeah, they were like, you cannot leave, you cannot come back in.
So
and literally the woman who worked for the airport was like, look, we know of all the places you could have landed, this one sucks.
Allison, though, like, I'm like upset at the front, at the desk, and Allison's wandering around. She comes back and she goes, I found an ice cream machine.
It was pretty advanced technology for Syracuse.
Yeah, we were like, what? What are you talking about? And she brought me and like two other women from the flight to this ice cream machine she had found. And then we all got ice cream.
It was frozen yogurt, and it made sounds, and you could add toppings.
Yeah, it had like music that played while it made it was like, imagine like you're in a hellscape, but then a frozen yogurt machine is like, do. Nightmare.
And then they kept telling us that there would be a solution. It's getting later and later. It's like 1 in the morning. And then
So we've been there 4 hours.
I'm going to go read because I love books. And I then hear them making an announcement, and then I hear someone stops the guy from talking and starts shouting at them. And I think, oh, that's so embarrassing. Why do people do that? And it was Gaby.
When you said there was a mutiny, I was like, no, I led the mutiny. So it was me and this guy and this other woman, and we full-on led the mutiny.
Yeah.
And then, so you know that in an apocalypse situation, I'm a leader.
And I'm going to kill myself.
Yep. And then
I'm not interested.
I know. I can't wait for everything to get shaken up, and I'm the leader.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, nah, no running water, see ya. Not good for me.
Yeah.
And then finally they released our bags, and that's when at 2 in the morning we decided to take a 4-hour Uber drive to my parents' house in Scarsdale.
And we asked the Uber driver, like, you're okay to drive us 4 hours away to Scarsdale? And he was like, yeah, no problem.
As long as I can smoke cigarettes
the whole time. And Allison couldn't sleep because she was like, it smelled like cigarette smoke. And I was like, honestly, feels like home. Love to sleep while a man smokes cigarettes near me.
And so then, but meanwhile, we have not told my parents that we're doing this. So at 5:45 in the morning, I call my house. My mom goes, hello, and I go, hi, we're 15 minutes away.
Then we went to your parents' house, passed out, had to cancel everything we were supposed to do today, which was so much press. And then...
we had to cancel on BuzzFeed. Oh, I feel terrible.
You would think it was a power move.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, sorry, we can't make it.
And we're not telling you till the last minute.
And then...
but now we're here, and we're so excited.
Oh, my God. And it's been a please send help all day, 24 hours. You were awake for a full 24 hours.
Yeah, I had some troubles.
Because she knocked on my door when we were going to the airport. She knocked on my door and was like, had been awake since 7 in the morning, had worked out and gotten room service. And I woke up 20 minutes before we had to leave.
Yeah. But I'm glad I worked out, because otherwise I think I would have hurt someone.
Yeah, it was really bad, you guys. And
but
you held it together and I cried.
Yeah, you
in
cried.
a shocking role reversal.
See, that's not shocking to me.
I know.
Yeah, she comes up to me, because we're not even staying together on this fucking 8-hour flight. And she comes up to me and she's clearly been crying, and I'm like, are you crying? And she's like, yes. And I was like, have you eaten? And she was like, no.
She also goes, why are you crying? And I said, I hate incompetence.
I realized that as long as I'm well fed, I can handle anything.
Yeah. It was so bad.
So we're going to start this off by doing a brief reading, but I don't want anyone to read along with us.
Yeah, don't read along with us.
Because it ruins the jokes.
Yeah.
So just listen. Have an auditory experience. You're going to start on page 20, I think.
Don't say it so loud. What?
14.
Oh. I remember. Okay. So this is an email from Jen, loosely based on me, to Ava, loosely based on Allison.
I thought I was Jen.
You keep saying that, and I have some bad news for you. You think you're the one who lives in Florida and hooks up with girls?
No, I would never go to Florida.
Okay. Okay, so this is called A Brief History of Bad Ideas. Below is an incomplete list of your misguided romantic infatuations. 1. Jake something or other. Freshman year of college. Mean frat guy who couldn't act. Gave your PIV virginity to him. Broke up after only a few months. Ignored you on campus for 2.5 years. 2. Aaron Rodriguez. Second half of freshman year. You spent months pining over him, even though it was clear he was not interested. Very humiliating. Hard to recover from. 3. Jesse Weissman. 3 summer flings in a row. Each time you thought you two would stay together during the school year, each time you did not. Would not return your calls from August to May. You claim to be in love. 4. Matt Lewis. Your TA, you hypocrite. 5. Painter guy senior year. Can't remember his name. Doubt he remembers yours. 6. Ben, your boss. Just some food for thought. Have a great night, Jen.
Spoilers. What's great is that my current boyfriend's name is Jake. And I had to give a copy of I Hate Everyone But You to his mom.
In which...
And be like, I swear this is before I knew him.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to jump ahead and we're going to do some interacting. 32.
Okay, shut the fuck up. Okay.
3:15 p.m. Now you're mad at me? You love to quit things. You're the one who suggested quitting.
I don't have rich parents, Ava.
Okay, I know that.
Do you? Because big cities cost money, and journalists don't make any.
That's not true. There are journalists everywhere.
Snap out of solidarity, okay?
I'm not saying you have to move to New York, but this isn't your only option.
I can't quit after 1 week. Who would hire me? And I can't not work. I have student loans, unlike some people.
Wow. I'm sorry I don't have student loans and that I want you to be happy. I'm a horrible person.
You're not horrible. You're out of touch.
Okay, BRB while I go watch Fox News.
And then this has nothing to do with anything, but I love reading it because it's so out of context. Okay, 10:13 a.m. Bo just told me he stabs frogs on the road and then eats them. Also, I forgive you.
I don't remember apologizing.
It was implied.
What do you mean he stabs them? Or do I not want to know?
He stabs them with a rod and cooks them.
My life was fine before knowing this.
Sure, it was fine, but it wasn't great.
True. Okay, so now we have an email from Ava to Gen. And in the fictionalized world of this book, Ava has an internship at a primetime late-night female comedy host show. So again, fiction. Helena McBride is a bitch, and you know I use that term extremely lightly. But this time, it's justified. She just threw what I can only describe as a tantrum because we didn't book the guests she wanted for the next week. Here's the craziest part. She didn't tell anyone who she wanted for next week. She just assumed the booker would know. Anyway, said booker is now fired, and no one got to eat lunch because she made us listen to some sort of speech that she was clearly pulling out of her ass in real time. Some takeaways from said speech. 1, there is a reason we all deserve to be here. Also, we could be replaced at any time. 2, David Letterman would never have to put up with this shit. 3, she is a mom. For some reason, she kept repeating that she is a mom. Apparently, that is a very big deal and not something 80% of women do. 4, we are not the news. We are more important than the news. 5, she's lost weight and no one has noticed. They always say, don't meet your heroes. Imagine being yelled at by one. We made eye contact briefly. I hope she likes me. Ava, P.S. I now understand how people like Hitler came to power. The suspense. We got to get a better system for this.
I know.
Okay, like around page 40.
Oh, yeah.
Around page 40.
I forgot. Okay. 11:52 a.m. Just go to the bathroom.
I can't. Everyone will hear me.
Do you need me to get you that book, Everybody Poops?
No. I already have 3 copies. I think I might pass out from the exertion of holding everything in. Is it possible to give yourself a hernia?
Ava, go to the bathroom. It's 2019.
You can't use that for this.
I can use it for everything. I don't need to wear a bra. It's 2019. Women can be professional baseball players. It's 2019. I wasn't going over the speed limit because there is no speed limit. It's 2019.
Have you ever pooped at work?
Oh, fuck no. But you know I go at night.
This is really good content. High quality stuff. 122, I think.
Is this my sexy one? No.
Yeah, it's your sexy one.
Oh, it's my sexy one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Allison,
It's weird it took that long to get one of those.
Allison picked these, and she went sexy on mine. Okay. So, this is an email from Jen to Ava titled Girls Like Boys and Girls, a reference to Panic at the Disco, our Lord and Savior. Okay. It's going to get sexy, y'all.
Sorry, Grandma.
Okay. Where to begin? Let me settle into my futon and wax poetic about my own art of seduction. It's a tale as old as Netflix and chill. After some flirty banter via SMS, because Coralie has a Samsung, the young lady arrived at my very humble abode bearing gifts, wine coolers, and bare skin, jean shorts cutoffs. Within minutes, we were making out. I think she had partaken in 1 or 2 coolers before arriving. When I went to take off my pants, she started giggling. This was clearly her first below-the-belt same-sex encounter. I asked if she wanted me to stop, and in response, she took off her pants. Everyone is gay, okay? We are all gay. After I went down on her, sorry to be so graphic, she went to the bathroom to pee. Orgasms always make her pee, I guess. I gave her an orgasm in case that wasn't completely clear. When she came back to bed with her pants back on, I knew the fun was over. That's okay. She has the rest of her young life to return the favor. I also have a very powerful vibrator. Again, apologies for the graphic detail. Try to breathe. I wanted her to spend the night, but she had to work in the morning. What does she do? No clue. Forgot to ask. It didn't really occur to me that she exists outside of our warped time together. Thinking about her doing mundane things like going to the bank or the grocery store doesn't really add up. Yes, she is a manic pixie dream girl, but isn't it time the queers got one of those too? How are your parents?
I'm doing.
If they are reading this email over your shoulder, please see all my apologies for the graphic but necessary details. It is my job as a journalist to disclose the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me, Kesha, because Kesha is God. Genevieve Goldman, Love Witch. P.S. I know that you're not gay, but exception to the rule proves the rule.
Okay, so we've got another email from Ava to Jen. Subject, why did I order kale? I'm honestly not sure where to begin here. You know how there are certain moments and experiences that really stay with you forever? I hope today was not one of them. Halona's assistant made us an 11:30 reservation at Gramercy Tavern because the show starts taping at 2. I assumed we would go together, but then it was 11:10 and Halona wasn't at the office. So I had to spend $40 on a cab to get there on time and wait for 30 minutes. When Halona walked in, the entire atmosphere changed. People started whispering and staring. You could tell she loved it. She even kissed a confused busboy on the cheek, clearly confusing him for the manager. I had to wait for a full minute before she admitted to herself that I was her lunch date. Clearly, she was hoping for someone more fashionable, likable, hotter. She sat down with a flourish and then launched into what was one of the most terrifying conversations of my life, which I will now relay to you in screenplay format. Interior, Gramercy Tavern, 12:08 p.m. Halona McBride, 45, eyes her disappointing lunch date across the table. Ava Helmer, an underdeveloped 22, tries to smile even though her mouth is frighteningly dry. Halona, have you been here before? No time for a response. Halona, it's one of my favorites. I love to come here and think while other people talk at me. That's the thing no one warns you about, how much people will talk at you. Ava says nothing because she doesn't want to talk at her. Halona, Ben thinks you show real potential, but then again, you're his type, so I'll have to take it with a grain of salt. Ava, unclear noise. Halona, I don't have a lot of time because the show starts soon and I already ate somewhere else, but here are quick tips, okay? Ava, okay, thank you. I've always looked up to Halona. Tip 1, only suck up to people who want to be sucked up to. For example, I like it. But only sometimes. Try to read my mood. How do you think I'm feeling right now? Long pause. Ava scrambles for an answer. Halona, good girl. Never tell me how I'm feeling. Tip 2, you will never be good enough, smart enough, or competent enough to do what you want to do. You just have to do it anyway. Another pause for reaction. Ava, wow, that's smart. Thank Halona. Tip 3, every day is a day. Longest pause so far. Ava, is that the whole thing, every day is a day? Halona, is that not true? Ava, no, it's just Halona, see you at the office, Ava. And with that, she was gone. You can applaud.
Every day is a day.
It is.
You say that.
I know. And
Every
that's
day-
why I put it in my book.
Every day is a day.
So normally at these signings and events, there's one author, and so they bring in a moderator to ask them questions. But because there's both of us, everyone was like, fuck it, just interview each other.
Here we go.
So on their first stop, Gaby asked me if I could have as many dogs as I wanted, how many dogs would I have? Which was a question she'd already asked me.
Yeah, but not in front of a crowd.
Okay. And then the answer is 100.
Yeah. And then also yesterday, so I screenshotted my by the way, Allison goes, you have homework. You need to write 10 questions for me. And then she fully thought I wouldn't do it, and I did do it. And then also, it was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, oh, we should wrap up because it's 7 o'clock or whatever. And it was because I had screenshotted my screen at 7 o'clock. So I was like, oh, don't worry, I'll keep track of the time. Oh my God, it's 7. And she was like, it's a screenshot. It's not 7 o'clock.
Also, that was the first time ever Gaby was like, I'll keep track of the time. All right, lay it on me.
Ah, okay.
It's nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. I'm so happy to get to know you. Okay. Okay. Well, I'll repeat some questions from the other time.
I'll pretend like I haven't heard them.
Yeah, great. Okay. This book includes a definition of gaslighting. Why did you want to make sure that the definition of gaslighting was included in a book aimed at young girls?
Wow, loaded question. So I think gaslighting was something I had a hard time understanding. Like I knew that term and I like heard it thrown around a lot, but I didn't totally understand what it meant. And then probably you explained it to me or something. And basically it's when someone, normally a man, will make you feel crazy. So like you'll be talking about something and you'll be expressing an emotion and they'll react like you're insane or that what you're saying isn't true even though it is. And so I thought that was something that it took me a really long time as an adult to understand and to recognize and to like notice when it was happening. And so if there was anything we could like subtly pass on to the reader, because I think some of our readers are younger than us, it's like a manipulation phenomenon that I feel like we should all be aware of and vigilant about.
Yeah, totally. And that it's tough to, like, when you're young, you justify a lot of stuff that partners do, and you shouldn't. Like,
because you don't know what's wrong yet.
Yeah, you're not sure. Yeah,
because it's like I think there's such black and white where it's like physical abuse or
yeah, but this is kind of more subtle, and you can, if you're being talked out of it, like you can talk yourself out of breaking up or getting out of a emotionally manipulative situation because you're like, maybe I'm exaggerating because the other person is telling you you're exaggerating.
Yeah.
So we wanted to like, we thought it was an important thing to aim at this audience in particular.
Should we try gaslighting them and see if it works?
No, I feel bad. Absolutely not.
So I have a similar question in that I think our Kirkus review, which is a big deal review.
Kirkus.
That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said Perkus.
No.
Yeah, did you just gaslight me? You absolutely did say Perkus.
I didn't. I'm recovering from strep throat. I'm going to use this for months.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Basically, like in one of the reviews of the book, like they called out the fact that Jen is sort of like the bad gay stereotype, or like
or the bad bisexual stereotype.
Or sorry, the bad bisexual stereotype, or like hooking up with a bunch of people and like hooking up with a straight girl, and like that and acted as though like us as authors had done something wrong by portraying a character that way. But I know for you it was important to kind of make her complex like that and to make her flawed in that way. And could you touch more on that topic?
Thank you so much. And thank you for remembering that I'm bisexual. I really appreciate it.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Happy 6th anniversary to this bit.
I thought this book was fiction.
I can't. Okay. We're going to be like 100 and your dying breath will be like, "You're what?" Okay.
Oh God, I died before you?
No, we died together.
Oh.
Holding hands walking into the ocean. As I scream, "I'm bisexual!"
And then I release your hand.
You're on your own. Okay. I remember we said something about old people walking into the ocean holding hands and that being romantic, and then I said the ocean is littered with skeletons, and you were very upset.
Look, I don't want to get into my thoughts on the ocean.
Okay, sorry.
It's where they hide the aliens.
I can't.
Listen to this. Okay. I'm just saying, you see something that you've never seen before, and it looks otherworldly. And then the government said, "Hey, that's just from the ocean." You're going to believe it.
Can I tell them?
Fine.
Oh my God. Okay. So
We've told this story, but
So we're in the airport, Allison and I, like a few years ago, and I opt out of the TSA because I think it's security theater. And Allison was waiting for me, and she was like, "I can't believe that you opt out of the TSA. Like you're so annoying." And I was like, "Well, Benjamin Franklin said those who would give up liberty for security deserve neither." And she's like walking ahead of me, like, "I don't want to be associated with you." And then we get to the gate, and I'm like, "I don't know why you're acting like so high and mighty." My boyfriend that we were with, my boyfriend was like, "Can you believe her?" And I was like, "I don't know why you guys are."
No, then he was like, it's like,
It's
like you're a 9/11 truther or something. And then I was like, well, 9/11 is a different situation.
Allison, and then he was like, "What?" And he was like, "I can't talk to either of you." And he starts walking away, and Allison yells, "I don't think they did it, but I don't think they stopped it." And then we sat at he walked away and we sat at the terminal together and I went, this is why we're friends.
Literally every plane ride we've had, Gabby's like, they checked my bag. Am I on a list? And I'm like, yes. All you do is talk about the TSA.
They've checked my bag every time.
I know, because you're on a list.
It's homophobia. Anyway, I wanted to, I exist as a bad bisexual stereotype. There was a lot of, I think there was a thing where bisexual people were painted as evil. In almost every bi character was painted as evil. Then this kind of flip happened where now every bi character has to be perfect. They can have never done anything wrong. They have to be flawless. They have to be monogamous. They have to be whatever. And anyway, I have a whole fucking thing where I think that there is a little bit of a mistake in queer activism of trying to appeal to straight people and trying to be like, no, straight people, we just want what you want. Please respect us. And I'm like, what if I don't want what you want? What if I want different things? You still have to respect me. Where were you guys when I was yelling at the TSA? Anyway. So then, I mean, I felt really bad because there were a lot of videos that came out in a certain time period that were it was like people talking to camera and it was like, I'm bi, but I'm not slutty. I'm bi, but I don't have casual sex. I'm bi, but I don't have group sex. I'm bi, but I'm monogamous. And it was meant to be good to dispel stereotypes. And as I was watching that video, I was like, it me. And I was like, okay, I understand what we're doing, but for people that are bi and are that way, now we just feel bad. And I went through a whole thing where am I as a human person bad bi rep? How is that? How? I'm just being myself. And so I started doing this thing where people would ask about that and I'd be like, I don't know, man, sorry, I'm fun. I don't have it. So the truth of what I was like when I was Jen's age was very much like that. I partied a lot, hooked up with a lot of people, was sort of figuring myself out. I've dated, I've had boyfriends and girlfriends at the same time.
What?
You know about it.
Yeah, I didn't like either.
You've never liked anyone I've dated.
You're right.
Yeah. You haven't liked any of them.
Well,
no.
that's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's that say about you?
I don't know.
That's me gaslighting her again.
No, I was going to be like, I don't know, are you in love with me? Think about that. Anyway, so then I just was like, I want to write a character that when I was young and I read it, I would feel like, okay, I'm not a bad person. Because I had a lot of my life, particularly surrounding non-monogamy and bisexuality specifically, I felt like I was evil. In high school, I was like, I'm a bad person, I'm evil, I have to fix this. And I didn't have to fix shit. So I wanted to have a character that is actually happy, and also the storyline of her hooking up with a straight girl, that's very relatable. That's very something that happens to a lot of us that's really sad, and we spend a lot of time when we're younger chasing straight girls, and I think you just have something you have to grow out of. But it's heartbreak. Jen in the book acts oh, it's no big deal, I don't have feelings, I don't care, but she's getting her heart broken. And so I think it's important, it's just a realistic thing that happens. So I understand the but you've said it's only our LGBTQ character who behaves badly and gets criticism. Meanwhile, a straight character behaves badly and nobody criticizes her.
Because here's the thing about books, you need conflict. You can't just have characters living perfectly and making all the right decisions, because that's, one, unrealistic, and two, very boring.
And the book doesn't end, the book ends with Jen being probably I won't chase straight girls anymore, but the book doesn't end with Jen being well, now I'm monogamous and I'm living a life of dedicated to Jesus Christ. You know
that's
what I mean?
Book 3. I'll have my next question, please.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Where do you see Ava and Gen in 10 years?
Oh my God, I thought you meant us and I just had a heart attack.
Literally, look, my next question is where do you see us in 10 years? I won't ask us. I won't ask you.
Oh my God, we're going to be 40.
I'm looking forward to it. 40s, you hit your sexual peak.
I thought that was 30s.
No, it's new. It's new information.
Oh, okay.
It's new science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're in the know. They send the science right to you. I don't know exactly where Ava and Gen will be, but I get the sense that they'll still be not on the same path. Like for me, if we're ever allowed to write a third book, like I would love to explore the dynamic of one friend having children and one friend not, because I think that that's sort of the next phase in friendship where things are really different, and suddenly one person's life is like a 180 from the others. Because I don't have kids, but I have nieces, and it's wild. They're crazy.
Yeah.
But so cute, Joss. I love them. And so, yeah, I think that, like, friendships have so many different stages, so it would be interesting to explore, like, having to survive that stage. And also, potentially, I feel like Jen is probably not settled down yet, where maybe Ava's in the midst of her first marriage.
Oh, first marriage?
We'll keep it loose for number 4.
When you say that, I'm always like, it'd be trippy if Jen had a kid. If Jen's the one who had a kid.
I am terrified of you having a child. And I'll tell you why.
Is this about the homeschooling?
Yes. I also think that you're going to just let them be in the sun too much. You can't let a baby be in the sun.
I fully licked puddles, and somehow I'm here.
Yeah, you're here.
Whatever. Whatever. Oh, man. If you want to hear about homeschooling, you got to listen to our podcast. We've really gotten into it about homeschooling.
Wow. I love the word podcast.
I know. I don't trust the schools to teach them about women.
Okay, but you can have additional learning. Your kid should probably be...
What are they, a nerd? More learning? Gross.
Okay.
Yeah, but they got fun books here.
This is hip.
It's a hip bookstore. What do you want to do? You want to do another question or you want to take questions?
Should we have questions from the audience? Because if not, it's embarrassing for us. Yeah, okay.
Tight.
Over here.
What's your favorite friendship memory together?
Oh, that's such a fun question.
Yesterday at the airport. No, just kidding. No, we wanted to die. But we didn't fight, which I thought was amazing.
Yeah, because we're medicated.
Yeah.
I think that maybe my favorite friendship memory is when, like, you showed up in Mexico.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, like, I was on vacation with my family in Mexico, and Gaby was going to come for a couple days, and she showed up with just a backpack. And
then I had
no money. And she had taken a cab there.
I took a cab to the resort, and then her parents I was like, hey, guys, you got to pay this cab driver.
And then she had freshly dyed her hair dark purple and then sat on a white chair in the living room and stained it.
And I stayed in the shower, too.
Yeah, and my mom, like, tried so hard to be chill about it.
And they had never met me before.
Yes, they had.
They had?
Yeah. You hadn't met, like, my grandparents and stuff, but you'd met.
Yeah, and then I was sitting at the pool with your mom, and your mom was, like, making conversation and went...
It wasn't my mom. It was, like, my aunt.
Oh, your aunt?
Yeah, it was, like,
someone...
So what do your tattoos mean?
What do your tattoos mean? Yeah, so your aunt was very sweet.
Yeah.
They were both like... Everybody was kind of like, Allison's friend is nuts. Like, why did she bring this fucking girl? And then,
no, everyone was like, Allison has a friend.
And then it was New Year's Eve, and we went down. So let me explain the way that my life has changed. The year before I met Allison, New Year's Eve, I knew
you, but we weren't
close. I went to the Chateau Marmont because the girl I was hooking up with did the flowers for the Chateau Marmont. So I went to the Chateau Marmont for New Year's. I did a bunch of cocaine, and then I drove home.
What?
Absolutely.
You never told me that part.
Absolutely.
You paid for valet? That's wild.
And then...
That's bad decision making.
No, it's horrible. It's horrible. And then a full year later, after getting to know Allison, I flew to Mexico with your family. We did one tequila shot at midnight.
It wasn't midnight. It was like 11.
And then we went back to the hotel room and took a bath.
Yeah, that was earlier in the day. Your mind is wild.
No. Then we went back and took a bath.
No, we'd taken a bath earlier after the pool.
Oh.
We'll talk about this later, honey.
Anyway, it was like so chill.
Yeah, it was just like very symbolic of everything about our friendship.
I know. I was like, wow, I think if I hadn't met you, I'd be dead.
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah, probably.
And I would be alone.
We did it.
We did it. Do we have other questions? Yeah.
Hello. How was the experience of like writing a book together?
Uh-huh.
Well, first of all, we have to write in separate Google Docs across the room from each other because Allison doesn't like my coffee breath. So I can't sit close to you.
Yeah, I like my space.
Yeah. And then we have so we both have a Google Doc open, and then we type in the Google Doc. We got an office because your house was getting renovated.
It was one of the worst times of my life.
Yeah, her house was under full renovation.
My house was under full renovation. My relationship was falling apart. You had to work on something else, and I was just like in a hotel in Pasadena, like sweating.
Yeah, so I was doing the Bad with Money book at the same time, and so you took over the last like third of this book, and then I was just approving it as you sent it to me.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not gonna make it.
Yeah, and then I forgot about the Pasadena hotel.
I didn't. But you know, it was a really great experience because we have an amazing editor, and I'm not just saying that because she's standing in the back.
No, she's fantastic.
You know, I think that she, from day one of I Hate Everyone But You, has just like let us do our thing and like, you know, gives notes that enhance it and make sure that I think ending a book is sort of the hardest part, and so we've always had to finesse the endings, but has really just like let us tell the stories that we want to tell with the characters we want to do it with. And so I haven't heard of anyone else having kind of as flawless experience.
Yeah, a lot of freedom to be weird.
Yeah.
And this book especially, like with I Hate Everyone But You, we were so concerned with it being a certain way. And then with this book, we were writing it like laughing hysterically to each other, just being like, this book is crazy.
Yeah.
Like we were just like, we were allowed to be way weirder.
Yeah, when we went back and like read the audiobook, which you can purchase, I was like,
the audiobook is #1 in LGBTQ teen fiction. And I was like, we did it, queer teens. I love a niche, you know what I mean?
yeah.
We're really hit our stride there.
Mm-hmm.
But we were reading the audiobook.
Oh yeah, and I was like, this is fucking weird. I forget everything that we wrote, and so it was just a lot of like, that's bizarre.
And then we were like, this is super funny. Like we were able to just be so weird. And then I feel like it was great because we got to we both bring something to it. Like Allison has her experiences with like dating and mental illness, and like I have my like queer experiences, so like it's strong on both sides, which like maybe it wouldn't be as strong if it was just us, you know?
Yeah, or just one of us.
One of us, that's what I mean. Yeah. But either way, I would love to write a book alone, a fiction.
Okay.
But you too.
Yeah.
Wow, don't act like I abandoned. Bury the lead. But that's it. I mean, yes, it is a graphic novel. That comes out in October. Please pre-order it.
We're very good at promotion.
Yeah.
Do we have other questions? Yeah.
So I guess to go on Gabby's idea of needing to diversify education, if your book ever was to be taught like in a high school English class, what's the big theme that you would want the students reading it to take away from it?
Oh my God.
You want to do your spoiler? Does everybody care about a spoiler? Okay.
Okay, so yeah. I guess this is one of the things is one of the characters in the book, I won't say who, it was Ava. She gets genital herpes, and I really wanted to have that be a plot line in the book because it's never talked about, and it's it's a thing that happens to like 1 in 4 people, and I think there's so much stigma attached to it, and there's so much fear, and especially for a character like Ava who has OCD and sees everything so black and white, it's sort of the most horrifying thing that can happen to you, and she adds so much additional shame to something that's just, you know, a disease and a physical ailment, and not even like not even a deadly one. Like it's, and so I think that that's maybe the part of the book that is a bit different from pretty much all other YA, and is something that I think kids can benefit from hopefully reading about and normalizing and realizing it's not that big of a deal, and that the things that we're most ashamed about ourselves are sort of the things we need to take ownership over and not have a problem sharing with other people.
That was Allison's idea, by the way, and I was like, that is great. That is because we've done a lot of work. You know, you've said we've done a lot of work normalizing queerness and mental illness and stuff, and we were like, we haven't read any other YA that addressed STI stigma, and we were like,
where it's also not the main plot.
Oh,
it's
and
just
that
a
the
thing
person
that
isn't
happens.
punished. The person, it's not a punishment. It's not like it doesn't end their life. It's not like it's not like the worst possible, like, oh, they did something bad and now this is the punishment or whatever. Like, it's like just very like a thing that happens. And so it would be great if young people could see that and then be like, oh, I relate to Ava, and like, and she's fine, you know? Mm-hmm. And that was brilliant of you.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
Hi, so you put a lot of your personal life like online, wherever. So I was thinking, like, do you like go and like do things and you're like, oh my God, this is great on the podcast or great on the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
It's more like after something devastating happens, I'm like, at least it can go on the podcast.
Yeah.
You know? And like, I do feel like there's things I'm looking forward to, like experiencing, like things like hopefully like a family or marriage or like things like that.
You want to get married? That's so weird. You never mention it.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I've never heard this before.
But I want to be clear. I don't mean to you.
Honestly, you're like, I want to get married so bad. And I'm like, I've been here the entire time.
And so there's something exciting to me, like to have a new potentially point of view, and like as you experience things, to be able to write about more stuff. But I'm not like going out I'm not like taking Ubers at 4 a.m. from Syracuse to New York just to write about it.
Oh, the whole time I was like, this is a short film. Whole time. No, and then I was like, it'd be crazy if we fell in love with this Uber driver. I have a very active imagination.
Oh, I was like, while we were at the gas station, I was like, this is where I die.
And I was like, this is my erotic novel. Yeah, I mean, I think I've pulled from a lot of bad stuff that's happened. Like, I think like part of the Coralie, or part of the storyline of Jen hooking up with this straight girl comes from like this girl that I was hooking up with in college who was straight, and I took a car home with my roommate at the time, and very drunk one night, and I cried on her shoulder and just kept saying, why doesn't she love me? It's fine.
But that's different than like seeking out experiences just to write about them.
But whenever something bad happens, my mom always goes, put it in the book. My dad, for those of you that don't know, my dad is a mess person, and I found out he had a secret kid in 2017. It's fine. But anyway, when that happened, I was like mad, and he kept going, but don't I make your life interesting? Don't I give you so much to write about? And I was like, you guys have really been relying on that thing where you're giving me inspiration for a good long time.
See, my mom will say something and then go, don't tweet that. Do you have another question? Oh, sorry, I'm making you work with the mic.
This is a question about the podcast. I wanted to know, how much decision power do you have over your guests? Who comes in? Is it all you, or is it?
Yeah, we get to pick our guests, which is great. And we're trying really hard to kind of steer away from entertainment people and kind of explore other subjects. And if it is someone in entertainment, talk about something other than their career and just like all the things that interest us, and kind of try to make it like as diverse as possible.
My favorite was we had Emily Heller on, who was literally like nominated for Emmys, and we just talked about dogs the whole time. Did not once bring up her Emmys.
And she was like, oh, I keep talking about my dog, sorry. And I was like, no, that's all I've written down in my notes.
Yeah.
I was prepared for that.
Yeah. We like having, if we do, yeah. We've had like, we want to do, I mean, one of our best episodes I thought was The Astrologer. Mm-hmm. Like we had this astrologer on to read you to filth. It was incredible.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That was that Virgo rising Capricorn moon shit. You should have been under the table because that was fucking.
She said stuff and then I immediately forgot it.
She was like, do you have trouble? Like if someone else is writing something on the computer, do you take it and just go, I'll do it?
She didn't say that.
Yes, she said if someone else is trying to do something, you'll go, it'll be faster. I'll just do it
But
myself.
that's true.
I know. Oh, it's true that it would be faster?
I grew up with my dad having a side that says, I'm sorry, my fault. I forgot you were an idiot. So that's how I live my life.
Yeah, she read you to filth.
Yeah, but like we're gonna have a primatologist on.
Oh yeah, an ape scientist.
So all just the weird
Oh, we're gonna
stuff.
have a pet psychic.
Yeah.
And we want her to talk to Sugar.
We need that. Sugar's in a cone right now.
But she goes, I met a pet psychic at a party. And I texted Allison and said, I met a pet psychic at a party and I want her to talk to Sugar. And Allison went, oh, absolutely. and then she was like, oh, just so you know, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. You know, like if the dog is unhappy, I will tell you the truth.
I don't need her to tell me that Sugar's unhappy.
And then she told me how this woman had a snake, and she said that she told her that the snake was unhappy, and then the woman had to rehome the snake. She's like, your snake hates you.
Well, I'm prepping myself to hear the same words.
Anyway, yeah, I meet pet psychics at parties. Everything's fine.
Another question? Oh, right here, right?
What are your like dream guests to have on the podcast?
Oh, thank you. AOC. Yeah.
You want Elizabeth Warren very bad.
I do. But I feel like AOC would be more spunky.
It was so funny. We did an interview separately, and we wrote in our answers, and they asked, who's your dream guest? And not talking to each other, we both wrote Michelle Obama. Yeah. I would love to have anyone from the cast of Law & Order SVU. I would love... we might have a Vanderpump Rules person soon.
Yeah.
So that's your dream.
I won't tell you who. Ariana.
We met her at a party and she knew who we were.
Stop telling people you meet people at parties.
I go out a lot. And I would love to... you know, it's such a reach, but I would love to have Cleve Jones. Do you know who that is? He's like an activist. He was part of like Harvey Milk's crew. He does a lot of like gay and AIDS activism.
I really want to have like someone who's an expert on the criminal justice system.
Well, someone from SVU. They're an elite squad.
We have to move on. Is there back here maybe? I have no idea how to. Yeah, up here it's great. I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think your favorite Just Between Us skit and like advice video might be?
Ooh, wow. Favorite skit. I really love Don't Read the Comments.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Because I think that that one was about, it was us playing ourselves as always, but like us behind the scenes recording a skit and then like getting too distracted by the mean comments people left us
to be able to do
the skit, and it's all filmed as one take, and it's just, you know, kind of like a play. And I like the message, and I also like that we kind of mixed it up with the direction.
Yeah. What's your favorite advice one?
Maybe The Biggest Regrets for me.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. You know, I don't know what it was called.
Once again, I'm sorry, Joss, about that thing you don't remember I did.
There was one.
Wait, I have to tell this story. So in that video,
what did you do?
In that video, I talk about how I was really mean to my sister on a field once when I was like 12 or something, and I remember just being such a bitch to her, and I've always felt really bad about it. And then her friend told her that I said this in the video, and she called me and was like, you know, I don't even remember that, Allison, but I do remember you saying you wanted me to die on a mountain.
Siblings are so weird. I was talking to someone about like me and Cheyenne fighting, and how my younger sister, and how her method was violence. Like she hit me with a baton so hard one time, I still think about it. And then in response, here's my psychological warfare. In response, I poured nail polish remover on all her shoes.
What did that do?
Made
Just
them smell
smelly?
bad, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, I was like, she'll never know why her shoes smell bad, and I'll never tell her. Psychological warfare.
See, I'd be like, ooh, now my shoes are so clean.
My favorite sketch. You know what's interesting? The one where you make me search you for bed bugs.
Oh yeah.
And I like that one because we
I'm
were
naked?
Yeah, well, yeah, but because we were filming it the day that we found out I Hate Everyone But You was on the New York Times bestseller list,
yeah.
and you were fully naked, and we were so excited that we shot a video on my phone, being like, for Instagram, like, we're on the New York Times bestseller list, blah blah blah, and you're just naked in it.
I'm wearing a nude bra.
No, you put a towel over.
I'm wearing a nude bra.
Yeah.
There's evidence.
Yeah, but then you put a pillow over it, so you just look naked behind a pillow, and we're like, we're on the New York Times bestseller list. Don't worry what Allison's wearing. It's for a sketch. And I always remember that being like very, very fun and sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Advice video, there's one in the very beginning of our show. I don't remember what episode it was, but you're explaining that a duck's penis is a corkscrew.
Did you guys know that? Everyone knew.
You're very intricately like, it's a corkscrew. And then you go, because their vaginas are labyrinthian. I say because their vaginas are labyrinthian. That's a real me.
I can't say fancy words like that.
That's a real me thing. Yeah. But I was like, I always think of that one because we're being so serious about it.
Yeah.
That's not advice, but it was in that advice video.
It's a fun party trick. Or not trick, don't show it. I brought my duck. I don't know.
You just have to get it aroused.
My whole family is here.
They know me.
Okay, do we have other questions? You pick. Yeah. Then no one can be mad at us.
Hi. So on another podcast they love Call Your Girlfriend, they like to ask their guests what their favorite snack is. And I think especially because you're on tour, what is your favorite snack?
Oh, man. We just found out about Trader Joe's olives in a pack.
In a pouch.
In a pouch. You guys heard about this? It's been life-changing.
But I think that my favorite go-to snack is Trader Joe's cheese crunchies. You guys ever have those?
Wow,
Yeah,
we don't work.
Yeah, me neither.
We don't work for Trader Joe's. But also, you do a thing that you freeze grapes, so it's like a grape icy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's not like ice cream though.
No, but that's a snack.
Yeah.
What do I eat? Oh, I like What do I eat?
I really don't know. Do you like a chip?
The last snack that I ate was like I killed a whole thing of raspberries in one sitting.
Okay.
But that's boring. That's not a snack.
We'll come back to it.
Wow, I don't know what snacks I like. Oh, Rice Krispie treats. I love a Rice Krispie treat. And they have them at the podcast studio. So I get them for free.
You would eat out of the garbage.
I know. I know.
Okay.
Wait, we called on someone and then we reneged it. Is
I
that
think
you?
back here, right?
No, I think
We took it back.
Oh, and this will have to be our last
Yeah, yeah,
question.
yeah.
Make
What?
time for the signing.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
I thought we were gonna go through 4 a.m. again tonight.
Yeah, no sleep. No sleep till Brooklyn.
Hi, you two are so prettier in person. You guys were already really pretty.
We're so ugly on the internet. Woo!
I wanted to ask about one of the characters that you included is a homeless character, and he appears in more than one scene, and and it's really important too because he's LGBTQ character. And personally, I'll share that 6 blocks away from here at the Quaker House, there is a homeless shelter that I work at, friendsshelter.org, if anyone wants to volunteer or donate.
Lovely.
And what I see there is that we have, I think, the highest density of trans women of color that come up. And so when I read that in the book, I was so excited to share this book with everyone that works there. But also, I just wanted to know what it was that inspired you to have that whole plot line in the book and why it was important for you to do that.
So statistically, like LGBTQ people are the highest rate of homeless youth. Like whether that's running away from bad situations or being kicked out of their homes, that's just statistically true. And we wanted to give Jen someone else queer in her life because she's missing queer community a lot in Florida, and like the idea is that she's sort of a fish out of water. And so we wanted to give her a friend who was also queer, and then it kind of made sense to make him be a representation of like such a large group of people that exists. And I don't think people outside of the queer community really know that statistic. And also like it was like we wanted to show like she's so unfazed by it. Like she's so, like unfazed, she's like happy to talk to him, happy to like have him hang out, like, and by the end he like has his life turned around and like as end up, like whatever, it's fine. He ends up, the way he gets there is crazy, so we don't have to say that, but like, yeah, he for me,
I think that we needed a storyline for her journalism, and we needed like a plot line for her, like a story for her to uncover,
and something that she would really care about, and it would be close to her heart. So like the discrimination at the homeless shelter, the homophobia at the homeless shelter, we thought that was something Jen would immediately latch onto. That's something that she would immediately feel strongly and social justice-y about. And so it like was a way for her to have that, and then also a way for her to feel extra frustrated when the editors are not on board. Because it is something that she would, as a character, would find so important. And we didn't want it to be something that didn't have a face. We wanted to give it a character that you get to know and has a face and like you understand isn't just like a statistic or isn't just...
It's also a thing that happens.
Yeah.
Where there's like, Christian-based like homeless shelters that will turn away LGBTQ people, which is horrifying.
Yeah.
And so we kind of wanted to
put a light on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's one of my favorite characters.
And not just because his name is Lyle Rainbow.
His name is Lyle Rainbow.
Real subtle.
And I don't know if we ever landed on if that's his real name. But I did have a teacher in middle school whose last name was Rainbow. So I was like, it's not that crazy.
Florida's weird.
Yeah.
Can we do one more, please?
Thank you so much for that.
We got one more. We got an encore.
Okay.
Perfect.
Hey, I was wondering how you decide in the book, since you talk about how it's an epistolary book, how you decide like what you make a text message versus an email, and also, you have the cool little screenwriting interludes too, and how you decide where to do that.
I wish I had a better answer other than like just feeling it out and sort of like
pacing.
like it's a lot of like comedic pacing. So or also like when do they need to talk with urgency to each other, and when does like they need to describe a longer scene?
The emails let us write stories. Like the scene with Helona, or like there's a scene where Jen goes to a Halloween party dressed as the Babadook, and bisexual icon the Babadook. I had to explain that to you. I showed you that video.
But that was years ago.
Yeah, I showed you that video of the Babadook doing RuPaul's Drag Race. If you haven't seen that, look it up.
Yeah, and then I made it my Twitter bio because it was like, I'm the manifestation of childhood mental illness, and I don't have a heartbeat. And I was like, it me. But that's something that's so visual that we were like, that has to be a longer scene. Yeah, it's almost like the emails are, if you were watching a movie, the emails are like their private storylines happening, and then them recounting it, and then the texts are like the scenes of them together where they're actually like interacting with each other.
Yeah. And then it's fun because you actually went to school for screenwriting. I went to school for journalism. And so we get to have, like, Jen sometimes writes emails in the form of articles, and Ava sometimes writes emails in the form of screenplays. And it's just like a way to break up the monotony of it, and also to use our skills.
And to let you guys know that I went to school for screenwriting and she went to school for journalism.
We've started a drinking game on the podcast. Every time I mention I went to school for journalism, we have to take a drink because you're so annoyed about how often I bring it up.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic now. All right, I don't know what happens next.
Give them a round of applause.